from Nemeksha. I mean, like Octagon wrestles it away from him. Screen from Edey, gets a drive from Smith, and he scores.
And that play was all set up because of Zach Edey. When he drove down the lane, he couldn't help as much. That time, Braden Smith able to maintain his dribble and kiss it off the glass.
Desmond Claude ramming toward the lane, turning on Kaufman-Renn. He missed it, and the rebound one-handed for Kaufman-Renn. Purdue will run here. On the pitch to the wing, it's a three for Lance Jones. Seven straight for the Boilers, and that's the danger for Xavier. Good position by Usman against Edey. He buried him there.
He buried him, and that came off a make. But watch what you notice is the power dribble out, which cleared enough space for him to come over the top with the jump hook over Edey.
Zach Edey, who became a much better rim protector last year in his junior season for Purdue, sets up Lawyer for a jumper, and that's good off the curl. Davion McKnight gets his way into the lane, and he scores 3 straight years, All-Conference USA at Western Kentucky, as Sean Miller used the portal very well.
But again, that came off of, like Usman inside the jump hook. And that time that came off of a made basket. This is what Matt Painter said. This is going to be the quickest, fastest team we played of yet. I'm interested to see how we handle their speed.
Smith had it deflected. He got caught midair, and Xavier on the flip trip quickly. It's a 3, and it's no good for Oliveri. Edey, a very willing screener. Smith somehow put that up and in over his shoulder. Usman driving on Edey. Oh, no, sir. Jones from long range.
The crowd was waiting for that. The block, and then Jones in transition. That time, Xavier able to dodge a bullet.
And a steal for Lawyer and Smith. Braden Smith, Big Ten all-freshman team last year. Lawyer hits it into the post. Edey quickly. Smith is out there. He doesn't see the ball. It's Edey going to work, and he rimmed it out. Clean game, a fast game, a sleek game so far. McKnight was out of control. Nemeksha for 3. That's good for Gidis Nemeksha.
But the pace you talked about favors Xavier. Why? Because now they're able to attack this Purdue defense before they're set 3 times. We've seen it now with the quick push. They've been able to get some high-quality looks.
As you said, Matt Painter knows that's the challenge here for the Boilermakers. Hard drive, Oliveri, and we've got a foul called. There's 2 shots coming up. Some change to the block charge.
Purdue up 2. And Jason, we talked about how do you stop Zach Edey? Well, you really don't. You just try to make him less efficient. Try to make him irritated. And the double team, I've talked about this, is going to come not on the catch, but on the dribble. As you see, Zach, he wants to get to that left shoulder, get over the top. And numerous times as he puts it on the deck, that's when you want to try to exploit the opportunity to make him pick it up or feel uncomfortable. It's not like Zach Edey hasn't faced all kinds of double teams. He understands that, but from a Xavier perspective, you want to make him uncomfortable enough that he has to think about where it's coming from and maybe miss a lot of the shots he's missed over 4 right now.
Which is rare for him, at least early on this season, as Xavier makes a couple of changes. Trey Green is on an instant score. He turns it over immediately, and Purdue coming the other direction. On the lob and the stop, and that was nasty. Camden Edey, who can really jump. Green for 3. No good. He's now 1 for 12 in his freshman year from 3. And a near turnover by Sasha Chani. Well, now it's getting a little bit warm in here for Xavier.
You think so? Well, it gets warm when you do things like this. A live ball turnover creates a mismatch and an opportunity for Purdue to run. And Edey up and over the top. And that's one thing for Xavier. Turnover is a turnover. When it's a live ball turnover, your defense in the front court and the back court is not going to be balanced.
Foul called on the near side by Paul Sells, and 2 free throws coming on the foul by Mason Gillis. And Sean Miller said to us, we were sitting over in the corner here at Mackey Arena earlier today, and he said, look, the one thing I don't want is mishandling the ball, right? Not knowing the sets, things like that. I just want competitiveness from my team here because Sean Miller is a fantastic coach, and he knows what this arena can be like.
But he's a point guard first, so he understands what it means to value the basketball. It was a little miscommunication with McKnight and Claude earlier at half court, turned it over. And then you saw on the sideline with Trey Green, when the defense was shifted, now you had a chance to run. Again, turnovers are a part of the game.
Right.
It's how the turnover is committed and when and where that can hurt you. And we saw in transition, Purdue was able to take advantage.
Yeah, the pick sixes, basically, right? In football parlance is what you're trying to avoid as Oliveri makes the free throws, and Dalen Swain is the freshman out of Columbus who has been a 10-point-a-game guy the first 2 games for Xavier. Laser of a hook pass from Jones for Edey, and that is his first make. Somehow that thing died on the rim tonight.
But you saw Edey. He was off of 1 foot, but he did show a little touch even though the ball carried him off the back of the rim.
Claude lost the basketball. Jones ahead of the fray, dropping it off. Edey off the spin. Halfway through the shot clock. Who wants to take the shot for Xavier? McKnight knocks it down, much needed for the transfer.
Beautiful movement. I don't know if you saw the subtleness with his left hand. He dipped inside of Edey, pushed him back, then he had an escape dribble to his right, and that allowed him to get that shot up and over the top. Too deep.
Edey fouled, and that's all you can do if you're Johnny right there.
The shadow is going to get you every time. You know, big shadow is going to get you. But go back to Davion McKnight right here. Watch this left right here. That dip froze Zach Edey. Plus, he had to, control the roll, man. It was a beautiful play, beautiful read, but more importantly, outstanding patience coming off that pick and roll.
And for the moment, Zach Edey will come off. He went 7:32 to open the game on the floor, and Edey, I think, always wants to play more minutes.
Well, when you're winning by 15, 20, 25 points, those minutes are going to be very limited, in particular in the second half, and that's been part of the, I'm not going to say frustration in the bad part, because Edey wants to play 34, 35, 36, 37, 15 minutes, you know what I mean?
I didn't think you were going to stop there. I thought we were going to overtime. Swain inside Johnny. Oh, he hops through a reverse.
Patience on the pick and roll to take that extra dribble to stretch out the defense, and now that pocket pass becomes available.
From Slovenia, Johnny, who played professionally over there, as here is a steal for Johnny. McKnight. There's Trey Green, one-hander, got it for the tie for Xavier. We mentioned all the international players here for Xavier. Credit David Miller, by the way, the assistant, for doing a marvelous job of recruiting all over Europe. Sean Miller obviously had handed Lowry Market in, among others, at Arizona, and they've carried that over to Xavier. Ethan Morton with a hard cut. Out top for Gillis. 7 to shoot. Jones, long catapult. He missed it. And a rebound foul. We're going to stay here. It's on Xavier.
Well, Jason, despite what's been going on the runs by Purdue, Xavier has still been able to hang tough. And Trey Green with a nice little floater in the lean to tie this thing up.
Let's go, baby! Should be electric today. The crowd, the atmosphere, this is what makes it special.
Here we go.
This is what we do!
Sensational. Big Noon Kickoff, Saturdays on Fox.
Heather and I had an argument just like any other couple. I was lost and lonely. I had snapped. I had a gun and I was going to take my own life. Heather helped me realize that there was still life to live for the better of myself, my family. My weapon is now safely put away. A moment of crisis can happen to anyone. Store your gun securely, locked, unloaded, and away from ammo.
Right now, get a free footlong at Subway. Like the new Deli Heroes. Buy 1 footlong in the app, get 1 free.
It's a pretty big deal.
Kinda like me. Order in the Subway app today.
Marie is ready to buy her first home. Come on. When you buy with Rocket Homes and finance with Rocket Mortgage, you get up to $10,000 cash toward closing from Rocket Mortgage. Visit onlywithrocket.com to get started today.
Pilots are a breed all their own. You must prove what you're capable of under the most extreme conditions. Talk is cheap. Action. That's what matters.
Guys, feeling tired, getting soft, growing old?
Wake up and grab Ageless Male Max with a non-prescription ingredient to help boost your total testosterone. Be the man you want to be.
I've shaved every day for 20 years. It's my morning routine, and it gets me ready for my day. But at over $4 a blade, shaving every day gets expensive. Then my barber told me about Harry's. Harry's 5-blade razor offers me a close, comfortable shave. It has all the features I love. Best part, refills are as low as $2 each, half of what I paid before. If you want a premium shave without the premium price tag, give Harry's a try.
Go to harrys.com/shave to claim your $7 trial.
This is Fubo TV. It's a better way to watch live news, shows, and sports without cable. Watch multiple games at once with Multiview. Try free at FuboTV.com.
Tied at 17. Let's go in the huddle with Sean Miller and Xavier.
If you look at the score, the way they're scoring is off of our turnovers. What I want to make sure you're clear on is this. You have to see the roller. Like Trey, your one turnover was simply the guy that was open was the roller. And it's true. Now, it's only 4 points off those 3 turnovers, but it feels like it's more because the crowd is able to get involved. And it also stymies what you're doing offensively. That these are the growing pains of a team that hasn't been together, because the communication a lot of times has to be verbal because you don't understand each other's body language as a bit because you haven't had enough games under your belt to kind of figure that out.
I would even say just the teaching style for Sean Miller shows how young of a team this is in terms of how much basketball they've played together. Right, kind of back to the basics a little bit there.
It has to be because now your game plan changed too with the absence of Zach Freemantle and also Jerome Hunter. The plays that you normally going to run with those 2 guys in the game, they're going to react a little bit differently defensively, so you have to run those plays a little differently.
10 to shoot. There's the drive, and it's batted away, taken by Caleb First from behind. Jones breaks it down. Gets it back, and Purdue will settle in off the screen from First. Jason Gillis, who's been a starter for this team, now coming off the bench this year. Ethan Morton had it knocked away, taken by Green, picking his pocket. Trey Green into First. Nice defense.
Yeah, took it too deep that time. A little pull-up, a little runner. You had one of your teammates trailing in the lane. I didn't get a chance to see who it was if it did come off. Important minutes for Purdue. The non-Edey minutes on the court are always critical to Purdue.
He's waiting to come in right now for the next whistle. Lance Jones rains it down. That's why he's here to shoot in part.
Yeah, but also not just shoot, but take high-quality shots. That was off of a handoff. He was able to square up his feet, shoulders, a little high arch, and knock it in for 2.
His 12th all-time in school history at Southern Illinois, over 1,500 points for the Salukis in Carbondale. Pull-up jumper for Swain is good. He's a highly thought-of recruit, a 4-star recruit out of Columbus. You know anything about Columbus?
Yeah, just a little bit.
Familiar?
There's some really good golf courses in Columbus.
And a cigar bar or two, I'm sure. Jones has to gather. And that's batted away, shoved toward the sideline. It goes redirected into the backcourt, and they're going to call over and back. Honestly, I thought Xavier got a touch on that, but because the momentum took Jones into the backcourt, it does not matter, and it's a turnover.
But it's the 50-50, the hustle plays, the activity defensively that is allowing Xavier to kind of keep this thing within reach despite giving up some easy basketball. Watch at the end. It's Gillis who touched it at the end, and that's what did it. But it was the hustle. Like a lot of times with a deflection, that's why coach is tracking. You may not get the steal, but you do stymie the offense somewhat. And that's what you saw on that last play.
It's a timing issue, right?
Yep.
Turnover number 4 for the Boilermakers in the first 11 and change. Usman, dribble handoff for Claude. Desmond Claude, that's a really tough shot, and Kaufman-Renn rakes down the rebound.
Yeah, excellent defense that time by Ethan Morton by going over the screen, getting back and not giving up, and then contesting the shot.
Off the Edey screen, Braden Smith hands Purdue the lead. He's got 6. Starters back on for the Boilermakers. Missed 3 early in the clock for McKnight. Rebound for Usman. Claude met by Edey, and that does not go terribly well.
Edey.
Lawyer running hard into the lane, ends up on the ground, and Edey can't clear the rebound. They're going to get a foul. Pat Driscoll the call on the near side, waving off the shot, and so Purdue will have it when we come back.
That timeout.
I'm just glad with that shot of Matt Painter, we could get Chris Foreman some FaceTime down there. It's an easy 2 off the inbound. It goes for Smith. He's got 8.
Yeah, too easy, though. That pass, if you're guarding the inbounds, whether it's zone or not, that has to come out to the corner or back towards half court.
Down low, a little bit of a breakdown for 2. Usman.
Beautiful play design. That time you were able to shift Zach Edey, move him out the lane just enough to get Usman underneath. Smartly went to the opposite side of the rim, knowing that Edey was tracking right behind him for a block.
I know Purdue fans don't want to hear this, but Usman actually played 16 minutes against Purdue in that loss to North Texas in the NCAA tournament in the bubble a couple of years ago. As that foul is going to go against Usman. I guess I should have warned them and said earmuffs or something before I talked about that.
But you did say that the Purdue faithful are not going to like to hear this.
Yeah.
So you gave him a warning.
Yeah, I fronted the bad facts. But he was on that team. And
right.
As Sean Miller's done a great job specifically getting guys from Conference USA. Sule Boom from UTEP last year was huge for that Sweet 16 team.
And he likened Quincy Olivari as a very similar product to Sule Boom. And that time, Zach Edey too deep, showing off the soft touch inside. But finding players that fit with experience has been something that Sean Miller wanted to identify coming into this year.
Namiksha misses. Tip on the rebound, and that was well done on the weak side. Ethan Morton was over there. Lawyer trailing and knocking down a 3. Live ball, live arena.
And live player is Zach Edey right here. This is a play out of bounds, and Zach, the double team really doesn't come. And the challenge with the double team is a smaller player coming. So that little stunt didn't influence and then in transition for Xavier. You have to be able to communicate and understand where your shooters are at. Excellent job of Braden Smith kind of controlling the tempo and allowing Fletcher Lawyer to come up in transition to collect his feet and knock in that 3.
I know this season did not end at all the way Boilermaker fans wanted it to last year. But the way those two played in the backcourt together until about early February, you could see that there was going to be something building with this backcourt. And with an offseason under their belt, you have to imagine it's just going to get better and better.
I'm going to give you something. It's not an excuse, it's a reason. What I'm going to give you is that you had two young freshmen backcourt trying to figure some things out. The season wore on them, and they matched up against a team that was quicker, faster, more physical, and more experienced, and they took the backcourt away from Purdue, which hence affected everything else they did. Those two young men had to live with that all summer. They're going to come back bigger and better than ever in order to avoid the same thing happening when tournament time comes back around.
You said it. They had to live with it. They had to sit with it, as Matt Painter talked about at shoot-around today. Here's a three for Swain. And they're going to tell him about that for a while.
Well, Dalen Swain, he'll have to have the feel for the game because that was an easy, from my perspective, pump fake because the defender was coming out of position. You pump fake, 1 or 2 dribbles get you a sweet spot, but that's understanding the game. But also as a freshman, the game has to slow down a bit in order for him to feel that more important.
Think about this. He turned 18 on July the 15th, so he was 17 a couple of months ago. Hard cut by Smith, and he finds his jumper anyway. Here comes Oliveri. In a hurry to pull up for three. No good. Into the corner it goes, and this is going to be out of bounds off of Purdue, touched by Coffin Rim.
But you see that Oliveri that time in transition say, why do you take that quick shot? Well, sometimes when you can beat your opponent, in particular Zach Edey's team, down the court and get a shot up, there's an opportunity to get an offensive rebound because the defense is not set. Zach Edey is not in position to get it. So you will see a lot of that come from Xavier in transition. We may scratch ahead a little bit, but this is the amount of pressure they want to place on the Purdue transition defense.
And that's why they have 4 offensive rebounds in part so far in the game for Xavier. Pass got a little squirrely off the hand of Desmond Claude. He gets it back. 5 to shoot. He's trailed by Colvin. Gives it up. Green, long range for 3. Trey Green, who came here to be a shooter, had not shot it well at all in the first 2 games, drills that.
But he had to think about that one, Jason. That one, the shot clock is running down. You come off a screen. Your backcourt partner kind of gives it to you when the shot clock is going down. You just let it go.
Isn't the psychology of shooting amazing?
Oh, it is, man. As quickly as it can come, it can go.
Lawyer got it to the corner. And that 3 goes in for Myles Colvin. He's 5 for 8 from 3 in his Purdue career. Roosevelt Colvin's son, the great Chicago Bear defensive player and former Purdue Boilermaker. Johnny, lot of dribbling. Oliveri traveled.
I guess what happened, the ball stayed on one side of the court. Advantage Purdue. You got to get it to the second side and swing it back. That time, Johnny not really understanding or feeling comfortable what he had to do offensively that time.
Sean Miller, for a moment there, had a look that looked like it could break glass.
But Sean understands this too. There are going to be early mistakes with this team that are elementary, just because the team is unfamiliar with each other and this system. So it is going to take time, more important, patience, and that's great patience by swinging it back up top, allowing Zach Edey to get outstanding post position to finish that.
It is not hyperbole to say that's unguardable. What just happened?
You can go.
Now a takeaway. And Purdue will scoot. And we got a foul going the other way. I believe it's going to be Coffin Ren. It is. Boilermakers threatening to get out the sledgehammer. 33-24.
Every night it's the same thing. After dinner, you start soaking, scrubbing, and scraping your stovetop. It's a nightmare. Well, now you can wake up to a clean dream kitchen every day with Stove Guards. the slide-on stovetop protector that stops all the messes before they start. Sauces are rinsed and sayonara, gone in seconds. Macaroni and cheese comes off in a breeze. Even baked on, caked on oils and spoils are no match for Stove Guard. Each Stove Guard is precision cut to fit your stove model, and it's so easy to order. Simply locate your model number behind the door or drawer of your stove and enter it into StoveGuard.com. Order your custom fit Stove Guard and get free shipping. We'll also send you the Micro Guard that will help you say goodbye to all those splatter messes in your microwave. Just pay a separate processing fee. Go to StoveGuard.com right away or scan the QR code on your screen. Order now.
Nice Oakleys, Stipe. Where'd you get them?
GovX.com. Man, I gotta get me one of those. Where'd you get it? GovX.com.
Hey, Stipe, nice boots. Where'd you get those?
GovX.com. Use it. Exclusive deals for first responders, military, and law enforcement only at GovX.com.
Prescription eyewear can be really expensive, but here's the secret. Glasses don't actually cost that much to make. Surprise! Especially when you design your own eyewear and then sell it directly to your customers. Like we do. Oh hi, we're Warby Parker. Our glasses start at $95, including prescription lenses. And the best part? You can try 5 pairs for free at warbyparker.com.
Red Lobster's new Lobster and Shrimp Celebration. We got tails, shrimp, waiters, potatoes, sausages, and bosses, cheddar bay stuffing, no bluffing. 3 lobster and shrimp entrees for a limited time.
Choose Duracell to make the most of holiday magic. Because before you know it, they're moody teenagers.
Ugh.
Holiday magic is fleeting. Don't risk it to save a few cents. Trust Duracell.
Coming up on the FS1 College Hoops Halftime Report, Villanova on upset alert versus Penn, while Rick Pitino's MSG debut spoiled by Michigan, and Miami looks to start 3-0 after last year's Final Four run. Casey Jacobson and I will have it at the half. Right now, Jason and Jack, back to you.
Mike, thank you very much. A statement for the Fighting Phil Martellis today for Michigan over St. John. Sean Miller, Matt Painter, a great deal of respect for these two coaches. You see, 55 and younger, that's the leaderboard. Sean started talking about his first trip here to Mackey Arena, and that got us down the Glenn Robinson rabbit hole, along with Michael Finley. And you talk about one of the greats of all time, Big Dog Glenn Robinson. I know you marveled at what he could do.
Unbelievable talent, unbelievable belief in himself. I mean, Coach Katie allowed Glenn to be Glenn, and he lit the Big Ten up. My goodness. Michael Finley wasn't a bad prospect either, though, at the time at Wisconsin.
Hey, when you're in Big Ten arenas, you just feel the basketball history, don't you?
No, you do. You do. And I got a chance to play in the old arenas. So, Fieldhouse, Wisconsin, I think it was.
His lawyer dancing with the dribble, has to give it up for Smith. Edey, the screen, just wiped away Claude from the planet for a moment. And here is Claude with the rebound coming the other way. This is a 4-on-2 for Xavier. They get a 3 for Green, and that's good. Trey Green starting to feel some confidence.
And that's basketball. That was a 4-on-2 fast break with an opportunity to get a layup. But what Xavier got out of it, because they practiced it, they ran to the three-point line, and Trey Green, because he was able to knock in one before, stepped up there confidently and knocked in the one in transition right there.
And now he just crowded Lawyer and forced him to give up the ball. There is Edey, who had it knocked away to the end line. Beautiful hands by Oliveri.
And that's why you come on the dip when the ball is on the ground against Zach Edey. You get 1 or 2 of those.
Claude wanted to go right badly, and now he'll have to find Green. Xavier hanging around Trey Green down the lane on the drop-off, and that is 2 for Kachi Enze, the freshman from the state of Pennsylvania.
But that's excellent patience, too. Patience by Trey Green to allow the pick and roll to work to draw in Zach Edey.
Smith, no. Enze the rebound. Xavier has put together 5 quick points. Clawed the trailer, got the flyby, didn't take the shot. Green, no. Aren't you glad college basketball's back?
I am, and at a high level too. I love these, the Gavitt Games, games in Chicago, the games where you're playing out of conference against high-level competition. To give you an indication of where you're at now and where you actually need to be. And speaking of which, here it is. Zach Edey, the ball is on the ground. You have to make a decision. Once you see that double team coming from the top, either go up for your shot or get rid of it. And watch this beautiful pick and roll down the lane and see how much Edey was occupied. He was in between. Should I go to Trey Green and try to block, or should I get back in the lane? When you're caught in between, a lot of times it's a gray area. Xavier able to benefit.
We saw FDU have great success just making Zach Edey move, trying to lift him from the paint, and you have to imagine with that on tape, teams are going to do that, although he's getting better too. I mean, he was the National Player of the Year, and he had a whole offseason to improve his game.
But when you have shooters on the perimeter, in particular ball handlers that can shoot off the dribble, Zach Edey is now forced to have to help in pick and roll. If not, now you can go under. He's not subject to coming out on the court as much, and he can lay back. That's the beauty of having that type of perimeter shooting, or the threat of perimeter shooting.
Claude lost the ball. Mason Gillis for Smith. And a whistle down low. There's some jockeying between Edey and Enze, and it's going to go against Kachi Enze, and a 1-and-1 coming.
Yeah, it was the shove with the left hand for Enze right there that the official called on the baseline. And what they want to try to do, which is what they try to do, is get Zach Edey up the lane a little bit more. So meet him early so he doesn't get and maintain deep post position. Now, again, that's easier, a lot easier said than done.
You know what I think we should do, just as a Fox group? We got a lane violation here. It's going the other way. We should have every analyst on our payroll defend Zach Edey in the post for a couple possessions, just so you can talk more clearly about what it feels like.
Oh, so not the play-by-play? That's kind of selfish.
Yeah, no.
Nothing.
I'm being selfless by letting you do it, is what's happening here. Yeah, and you guys are former players, right? Oh, boy, Edey bats that away from Green. That's his third block already. Oliveri, that's a ridiculously tough shot.
No, that's tough. That's tough. Another shot you want to put back in the holster right now, because when you're down 5 points, you get a good one there. They cut to this lead, and now good teams make you pay a little bit. That time got away with it.
Off the Edey screen, the miss for Smith. And so now McKnight and Xavier within 5, hanging around. McKnight missed it. One-handed rebound for Mason Gillis, who got his degree in 3 years, by the way, here at Purdue. Could be the final possession of half number 1 at Mackey Arena. Pitch into the corner from Smith. And it's good. Second one for Colvin. What a way to end half number 1. Couple of triples for Myles Colvin, and the Boilers lead by 8.
But now you cut into this lead, but I did think that Purdue did an excellent job of finishing out that first half, defensively and offensively.
They made their last 3 threes. Purdue 4 for 8. They were 1 for 5 to open the game, as that's a misfire from Claude. Strong first half from Braden Smith for Purdue.
Under control, right?
12. Yeah.
Under control.
Lawyer on the kick out from Edey. Xavier in a real hurry. McKnight spins it into the corner. Got an open look, and that won't go down for Oliveri. And it's out of bounds off the Boilermakers.
Like, you get the push. Now the defense can't locate a body on the shot in the corner. Oliveri gets a piece of it, but it ends up going off for Braden Smith and retention to Xavier for another offensive possession.
Steal for Lawyer. Looking behind him, he knows he has Smith. He's going to take it himself and score hard off the window. Into the post it goes, Usman. Wheeling against Edey, and he just crawled it over the rim.
Excellent footwork that time, and Usman able to create a little contact in space, get that left jump hook off over the outstretched arms of Zach Edey.
Usman from Brooklyn by way of North Texas, and he's going to have to deal with Edey here, just rummaging for 2 free throws. It's 3 on Usman.
Well, you know, we talked about in the first half, you said that Zach Edey catching the basketball is virtually impossible to stop. How can you stop it? To me, how you stop it, well, mitigate his touches. You have to have better pressure on the passer. Because if you have better pressure on the passer, that means that even if Zach is located deep in post position, the ball can't get to him. Right now, the ball is getting to Zach too easy. It's going to take a little bit more for the double team to come. So you have to put more pressure and push the passer out a little bit further than their comfort zone of where they want to operate offensively.
If you do that, what is the danger? That you're going to get beaten off the dribble?
Well, I don't think from a Purdue perspective, you look at the quickness on the perimeter of Xavier, I don't think that's a challenge for them to keep their primary offensive player in front of them.
Lead is 10 for Purdue, trying to get to 3-0. Before they head off to the Maui Invitational. Namiksha for 2.
I like it. Great movement. The ball shifted from right to left, back to left in the corner. Namiksha was able to string out that pick and roll, that dribble handoff, and knowing Zach Edey wasn't going to relocate outside the lane.
Edey rolling to the rim. 2 and a foul somehow, some way. Didn't look like he was going to even corral the basketball, and Usman's like, what am I supposed to do? That's his 4th.
Yeah, and that's a tough situation because it was a quick hitting play. Watch it. As Smith turns the corner, Usman has to help a little bit. And Edey, all 7'4", 7'5" of him, was able to not just gather, but have the awareness, eyes up to finish it off the backboard and now complete that 3-point play.
That's 13 for Edey of the 44 for the Boilermakers. McKnight pull up for 2.
Off the free throw. Now, Brady Smith has to be smarter. You can't attempt that steal in the front court like that, in the back court like that. Now you give up space, and that time McKnight was able to take advantage of it.
They'll feed the post. Edey against Chani. Extra pass, mishandled. There was a hard pass into the corner. Lawyer off the flyby. Missed it for 3. Got his own rebound and scored. He watched that the whole way, Jimmy.
A shooter understands and knows if he's short where it's coming off at. Excellent job of Fletcher Lawyer staying with that.
And we got a timeout. Sean Miller. Our veterans deserve to live with dignity and independence, not on the streets. That's why we're making camo our cause this Veterans Day in support of the Honor U.S. Vets campaign. Post wearing your camo on social with hashtag HonorUSVets and visit honor.usvets.org/Fox / to donate and learn how you can help end veteran homelessness. Out of the timeout, Xavier with the ball. Sean Miller, some changes to the lineup. Trey Green in. Desmond clawed the pull for 2 with his foot over the line.
And smart timeout by Sean Miller. The league was going to creep over a little bit. He wanted to keep it under 10. He was able to get Trey Green in the lineup, settle his troops a little bit. Excellent out-of-bounds play coming out that timeout to score.
Nice knock away by Chani there, redirected to Smith. Sean Miller's so good at out-of-bounds plays, out of timeouts. Lance Jones to the rim. It dangled there for a while on the rebound for Chani.
I tell you what, Xavier's doing an excellent job of keeping the body on Zach Edey. Only 1 offensive rebound. thus far. Now, that's an impossible task at times, but locating him early when the shot goes up allows you to keep a body, and sometimes you may have to double team him in order to keep the ball out of his hands.
Sean Miller very aware, armed with Edey's offensive rebounding stats at shoot-around this morning. That's a wide-open look for Namiksha, and it's an air ball. Smith rides it into the front court, a lawyer for three. Back tap by Edey.
Speaking of which, right, he said, Jimmy, be quiet. What are you talking about? That time he don't have to get his, he don't have to grab it himself, but he was able to keep that possession alive. A great hustle for him to run the court as well. To coordinate that with the new TV company, ESPN, that didn't have a track record. I mean, that said something. But both complemented each other, because that's how I learned and appreciated Big East basketball, was watching it 79-80 on ESPN. And that was all Dave Gavitt.
Namiksha for two. Sad to see the Gavitt Games going away.
It is. But they played tribute enough so people that didn't have awareness before understood the value of what he brought to the table. It'll be something else that is going to be able to be conjured up between these two leagues.
Great to see Dan Gavitt here, by the way. He stopped by the table before the game. A wonderful guy. There's a three for Green. That would have been huge for Xavier. Instead, it's Jones on the attack, hopping through. Goodness gracious. I mean, it looked like he was going to run through the tunnel like Bo Jackson.
But you noticed something on that last Purdue play with Zach Edey. He got the ball on the right block. He's more comfortable on the left because now he can get to that left shoulder. That time he had to shoot a left-hand jump hook. Wasn't as fluid and comfortable in that spot, hence kind of left it a little short.
Jones at the foul line, where Xavier's only taken 2 free throws all game long. Purdue has outshot its opponents from the free throw line coming into today by 26 already, and that's just growing. That happened last year, too.
But you know what that is defensive discipline from this perspective, not bailing your opponent out by going for steal and reaches and things like that, playing solid individual defense first, and then outstanding help in team and positional defense where you don't just commit fouls, and as we say it, they commit the foul.
I mean, that's one of those things where people sitting at home are like, see
I told you.
There is an announcer jinx. And I don't believe in it. You don't believe in it, do you?
I don't, unless it was me at the free throw line and something happened. And
Did you ever hear announcers talking about you while you were at the free throw line?
No, I wasn't that close to the side, though.
Okay.
So
I didn't know if it was like quiet once and you heard.
Oh, no, it was quiet in some arenas. I was just... Trust me.
You made
early in my Dallas years, buddy. Oh, beautiful move.
That's Claude to the rim.
And I like to see Claude kind of use that body, get downhill a little bit more, explore off the dribble. Again, he played point guard in high school, so he's accustomed to creating and seeing some gaps off the bounce.
Born in Syracuse, went to prep school in Connecticut. Desmond Claude has Xavier within 6. Jones right down the zipper of the lane, and he draws 2 free throws. It's on Claude. It's his first.
Yeah, you go back to Desmond Claude. It's not an easy task assuming that lead position as a player. Everybody wants it. You know, everybody wants to kind of be the guy. But to be the guy, you got to be the guy when it's going well, when it's not going well. You got to answer all the questions. You kind of got to accept some of the flaws of the team. You have to cover up some mistakes. You have to accept a lot of the criticism. It's not just what you do on the court.
Sounds like a great job.
Well, it is, because, you know, a lot of people don't want to have that responsibility full time, only when it's catered towards them.
When it's convenient.
And it's convenient, but that's not what being the number one option is.
There's a learning curve to it, right?
It has to be, yes. Especially at this level. Beautiful.
That's Johnny rim run, and it's a goaltend against Caleb First.
Well, at that time, Xavier did an excellent job of lifting everyone basically above the free throw line. And watch the slip screen. See, you have no backside help because you have shooters on the opposite side with McKnight. And by lifting above the free throw line, it's just an easy read and react. Trying to get downhill and finish that inside.
One of 4 international players on the roster. They are still without Lazar Djokovic, as first will go to the free throw line for 2 shots on another foul against Claude. But Djokovic is a guy that Sean Miller feels like might be in the starting lineup when he comes back. He's had a hand injury he's been dealing with. But Lazar Djokovic, who has not played yet here at Xavier, and you mentioned earlier, right there, without Zach Fremantle, without Jerome Hunter, so it's a very fluid situation.
You never want injuries, but if you were to really pick your poison, you would rather have it early so your team can adjust to it, make the proper adjustments to your roster and to your play calling, because a late season to a key player just kills you.
Yeah,
because you don't have time, you don't have practice time, enough games to overcome that.
Case in point, Chucky Hepburn a couple years ago for Wisconsin in the NCAA tournament.
Yep.
They just had no chance of recovering from that in tournament mode. Nemiksha got it for 3. Gitas Nemiksha buries one, and here comes Xavier again.
The beautiful thing about that shot, Nemiksha shot an air ball in the corner early in transition. Didn't think about it on that occasion. Just like shooting practice, line it up and let it go.
Impressive response by Xavier. Jones had it taken away by Chani. Trey Green in a hurry, going downhill, nearly traveled. The crowd in that corner wanted it. Nemiksha missed it. That was awkward the whole way. It was almost like, well, I made the last one, I might as well. Smith the other way, got it for 2. You can almost see that coming for Purdue off the miss by Nemiksha.
I tell you what, Braden Smith is so calm when he runs his pick and roll, and he gets to his spot and able to pull up for the nice little 10, 15-foot jump shot.
Nemiksha, too strong.
Nice shot.
No, he's not.
It's not shy whatsoever.
He actually has 2 years of eligibility left after playing Lithuania, and Smith now starting to boil. And so is the crowd. McKnight the skip into the corner. That's a rainbow. That's not going to go down. We got a foul. Trey Green, the miss, and a foul against Purdue and Caleb First. And that has not been terribly well received here in West Lafayette. Yeah, the second opinion of the crowd was pretty much the same as the first. Ethan Morton coming in for Matt Painter. Talking about gardening again. From here in the crowd, right?
Gardening, yeah, right?
Gardening.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah. On the drive, Oliveri with a floater for 2. Tell you what, really impressed by Xavier. You said it, undermanned, but sticking around.
Kind of running the game plan, do a better job of not turning the basketball over, which allows your offense to be able to get some looks at the rim.
Caleb First. 4-3. Versatile player, Caleb First. He can play Buddy the Elf in social media videos and knock down threes all at the same time as that goes in for McKnight and Xavier. And we have a timeout on the floor.
And because they're in that drop coverage, now you just pull up for your shot. And that's just excellent recognition. But again, this is the growth in this young man's game. And I talked to him before the game. I said, what did you work on this summer? He said, becoming a better leader.
First of all, to have the wherewithal to know to do that is impressive after a freshman year. 12, 6, and 5 for him so far. 6 rebounds, 5 assists to go with the 12 points.
Well, Braden Smith has been under control. Barely has he gotten off of his feet, tried to make a pass. He stayed true to who he is. He's gotten the ball to his perimeter players, also in the post. Defensively, he's been solid. But that's the growth you want to see in the sophomore.
Longest streak, and by the way, Purdue's in the bonus for the rest of the game. Longest streak of 5+ assists since Everett Stevens.
And Everett, you know how good Purdue fans understand how good Everett Stevens was, but Braden Smith knows how to play. He had to go through the period of ups and downs last year to figure some things out. You can tell him all you want, but until you experience the fire a little bit and have to look yourself in the mirror, understand what you have to get better at, that's when the true test begins, and he's looking outstanding thus far at the beginning of this season.
Look, pretty clearly the blueprint for a team, right, for Purdue, and I'm not the first person saying this, but it's true, is Tony Bennett's Virginia team, right? You lose to a 16 seed, you come back, you win a national championship. There's no need for extra motivation for Purdue this year. It's built in.
It's in particular because the majority of those players have come back. It's different if those guys have left. That feeling is still in the locker room. Another good play that time off of excellent movement by Xavier to get that shot.
Oliveri gets a nice bounce.
I like it. Every time Purdue seems to stretch it out a little bit, Xavier finds a way to assign me that momentum a little bit.
Lawyer banging in the lane, missed it, rebound, out of bounds. It's going to be Xavier basketball.
I don't know about that one, unless it went off of Edey at the last minute.
Let's watch. Here you go.
Watch Nisha right there. And they're saying they must be saying it went off of Zach's right index finger. That's the only way.
It's close. Claude couldn't find a shot. Morton tailed him all the way. Davion McKnight against Smith. Step back, Jay. No, sir. Rebound for first. Big hurry. Down the lane, Smith. Kick out, Morton. Yes! Pinned at the lane, wants it back. Fake the three, drove by Edey, got a chance at a floater. Rebound first. Braden Smith eyes up. Morton on the drive, met by Claude. Smith for Edey, clockwork for Purdue. And a foul against the Boilermakers.
And you see the difference in comfort level of Zach Edey once he got it on the post in the left block. It was easy for him to get to the other side, but it was a quick push in transition. Look, Braden Smith, once again, in the air. Yes, he got caught, but he knew exactly where Ethan Morton was at in transition.
When you're in transition like that, when are you picking up that guy? As you see Edey here.
I mean, from the defensive perspective?
As a point guard in Smith, when do you see Morton flaring out there?
Well, because you work on it in practice so much, you know you're going to have a trailer. Now, who that trailer may be, you don't know. But you know personnel on the floor, and you know that Ethan Morton is going to be a trail guy a lot of the times.
Oh boy. Oliveri had it pancaked, and this will be Purdue basketball. That was a late night snack for Zach Edey.
But what's been consistent the last three defensive possessions? Excellent communication, first and foremost, by the Boilermakers. The rotations have been there, and then the individual defensive stance has been there. Zach going to the left shoulder once again, but Usman able to knock it away.
It's going to be Xavier ball. Edey's like, come on. Yeah, Painter's not thrilled. Oh boy.
The second from the crowd again.
The second reaction is always worse than the first. We have learned here tonight. Who says the sequel's never better? That floater won't go for Swain. Xavier's right on the edge right now of losing its grip of closeness.
And the question is for Xavier, who do you go to get a much-needed basket? And that has to be Desmond Claude. You would think in this situation.
Edey creates 2 free throws for himself. If that's Usman, it's 5, and yeah, he's done. You know, there's no defense for Zach Edey sometimes. There's also no defense for the paint crew. Like, you have to walk off the court, right? So you can't get them to stop saying left, right. Because you have to leave.
You got to leave. And that's the beauty of college basketball in environments like this. Usman did an excellent job, I thought, battling all night. But when you're undersized, you're going to end up picking up contact fouls. And that's what happened probably on a couple of his 5 fouls. Was just sheer physical contact, sometimes away from the ball, sometimes on the ball.
And Edey's been great in the foul line while he's at it. 6 for 7 from the line so far tonight. Trey Green cannot extract himself from Jones. He chased him the whole way, even around Chani. Swain with 5. Great defensive possession, Purdue. I mean, great. It's a long jumper that sinks it, though, for Claude.
2 things can be read at the same time. Excellent individual defense by Purdue, but outstanding patience and shot making that time by Desmond Claude at the end of that shot clock. Here going to run.
And a great read by Swain. He's to the rim for a stuff.
He wanted the foul as well. It could have easily been a foul on Myles Colvin. And just when, again, Purdue starts to pull away, Xavier figures out a way to get, oh, beautiful.
Duck! Green chucks it. Edey the rebound.
Probably a little bit too quick that time. Trey Green on the trigger. And right now, a little 2-3 zone extended a little bit more by Xavier.
First and Edey in the same place. Purdue running the bunch formation. Colvin missed the greeted by Jones and a foul called no shot. They'll wave off the shot. That's foul number 5 against Purdue only. I mean, look, we know that you have a way you lean in that rivalry. We get it.
You think?
Yeah.
Okay. Way to set me up.
I hope you and I get Ohio State, Michigan in basketball later this year. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Xavier trying to remain in contact in this game. Swain, Nemiksha thought about the 3, didn't take it. McKnight ends up with it and rims it out. That's Nemiksha flying in. Somehow that wouldn't fall. That's like one of those carnival games you're not supposed to win.
But Xavier did everything correct. They were patient. The ball went from the right side to the left side. You got a wide open shot. You got 2 tips at the rim. Unfortunately, the Bills just would not go through the nets. That block.
Edey.
That block.
Burying Chani. Couldn't make it, though, on the rebound. Claude. Claude wants it. Here we go. He's down went Jones. Claude wraps it around and scores.
Well, Xavier, when you get it by the 2.5-minute mark, down under 7 points. You know, by that point, you're at. Got an opportunity to get some stops here. Give yourself a chance, but that's just beautiful basketball right there.
Johnny's putting his hands up as if to say, I did everything I could. How about this? How did this not fall?
See, this is how unlucky you are when you play right here. You just can't buy a basket.
I mean, that's one of those you're looking, and you know, you're like, I want that stuffed teddy bear. Right?
And you just can't.
You can't get it.
No.
It's not going to happen. The old claw machine, right?
It was all set up. Those carnival games all set up.
The ring never goes around the milk bottle.
But it's great when you have kids and keep them occupied. I tell you, it's worth all the money in the world.
Yeah.
Keep them occupied.
Oh, look, yeah. Honestly.
Just go play.
Here, you go. Whatever. Play 100 times.
That's right. This, too, I think this is where Zach Edey improves. When I played with Yao Ming, Yao shot high 70s, low 80s from the line.
Mm-hmm.
And what that means is that teams, he makes them pay when they foul him. He's at 71%, but he has a nice enough stroke that he can inch that up even a little bit higher.
Yeah, it adds value, right?
Big time, because especially in late game situations when he's going to have touches deep, you want to feel confident, coaching staff, that you can go to him, that he can convert, also his teammates, because they're more willing to give him the rock in late game situations, knowing that he can step to the line and complete the play.
Smith called for that foul, by the way. Did you see Braden Smith went like a quarter of the front court like he was on a slip and slide during that possession, got up, committed a foul, and he's no worse for the wear, it looks like.
He's a competitor.
For Burn City. Jones in the pocket of Claude. Lance Jones, a tremendous reputation as a defensive player in the Missouri Valley for Southern Illinois. Claude, late shot clock. Oh, wow!
Carnival off the glass. And no matter how it goes in, it goes in. There's a big-time basket that time by Desmond. An outstanding defense by Lance Jones.
That was a needed-it basket for Xavier.
Can you bring that back and get the stop you need right now? Almost with a steal.
That was a tough catch for Edey. He goes back to work and misses.
Well, that left right block brought the ball down. Not as comfortable.
Xavier a little sped up here. And Zay for McKnight. That won't go. Edey flashes in for the rebound. Smith on the attack. Bounce pass taken away. Swain slams it down. It's a 9-point game.
Well, he said it. You know, Sean Miller, this Xavier team is not going anywhere. And the zone defense paying some dividends a little bit here for this run.
Cross lane pass from Edey and got it there for Mason Gillis. What a find. Crowd wants to travel. Matt Painter wants to travel. He's going to get his turnover.
Yep. Because that offense operates at a different level, Marquette being, when he's out there running it.
Shaka Smart, you talk about teams with a lot back. Marquette has a ton back from last year. Omax is gone. Basically, everybody else returned.
Yeah, Cam Jones is kind of taking it to another level right now in regards to his scoring.
Great night tonight for Braden Smith. He wants Gillis to take the three, and Mason Gillis rims it out. Down to the ground it goes, and let's see, we're going to get travel? Yeah, we are. That's tough to call.
Yeah, that's tough because Xavier did everything right defensively. They knew that pick and roll was coming. Gillis, you live with that kind of shot open. You were able to finish your defense with a rebound. Unfortunately, it was a lot of contact. And that time it was David Swain that kind of ran into his own teammate and took that defensive possession away.
It'll be interesting to see where Gillis ends up from three as Colvin comes out, Lawyer back in. Mason Gillis last year about 35 and change. 2 years ago, he was a 41% three-point shooter. Very good shooter. We'll see what kind of opportunities he has as Edey just absolutely buried another defender.
And that's from underneath out of bounds. He was able to catch, receive right at the rim. Oh,
kind of a catch receive. That was tough for Enze.
Enze just couldn't grab it inside. A good play, good throw. Just couldn't control it up top. Another. He was going to slow it down, chalk to the shot clock a little bit.
Lead is 13 under 2 minutes. Edey going to town again. Too strong. Xavier has to hustle. It's Swain banging into Lawyer, and that will be a foul against Fletcher Lawyer, and a 1-and-1 coming.
And how about this? Up until this point, Purdue has limited Xavier to only 2 free throw attempts, as opposed to their 19.
Free throw differential last year was exorbitant for Purdue, and that's what made you think they were going to be a scary NCAA tournament team, and they very well could be again this year.
Yeah, if you have the ability on the road and at home to play defense without fouling, without giving up early bonus situations to your opponent, and not bailing out your opponent when you play really good defense for 24, 25 seconds in the shot clock, like that right there. So you get, instead of getting back, kind of commit those fouls.
Edey will go to the free throw line. Mentioned Purdue will go off to Hawaii for the Maui Invitational. Xavier is going to Vegas to play Washington on Friday, and then either San Diego State or St. Mary's on Sunday. And in between, they're going to deal with all of the Formula One traffic in Las Vegas, which is a wonderful time right now. So good luck to them on that. That might be the most difficult challenge they have out in Vegas.
They're 18, 19, 20. They ain't thinking about FS1. They're going to Vegas to figure some things out, to enjoy it.
Yeah.
That's you worried about They're not thinking about it. See,
no, everybody in Vegas is talking about it. You can't talk about that tournament without talking about the F1 stuff. We're talking about the Gavitt Games and them ending, because they're going to get another chance here. More tournaments, more things like this. More good games early, better for college basketball.
It really is, because it highlights, some natural rivalries, but also some conference rivalries. It gets some of the best teams in the country who normally wouldn't play each other to compete at an early stage of the season. But it also gives each team an awareness of where they're at and actually where they have to grow into as the season kind of moves along.
Down to 7 to shoot for Xavier. That's Swain. And that's a good three-point jumper for Swain, and a timeout for Xavier is the final timeout for Sean Miller. But to your point, Jimmy, I think it's a good one. You do have to figure out where you are before conference play.
Well, isn't that the Tom Izzo philosophy? Yeah, we may lose some early, but it gives us a barometer on what we need to work on, because a lot of times players can tune coaches out even early. But when you play a tough non-conference schedule and you kind of get beat up a little bit, that reiterates what the coach was talking about. More importantly, you end up playing against a team or a style that you may not play against in conference that you're going to play against in the tournament. So you have a reference point.
Like they will against Gonzaga. Purdue will play Gonzaga, and then either Tennessee or Syracuse, and then who knows, maybe Kansas, the last day of the Maui Invitational. And obviously, it goes without saying, but have you been to Lahaina for the Maui Invitational before? Have you made it out there?
No,
it is one of the most wonderful events you can possibly imagine, and just thinking about everybody in Lahaina and everything that went on there with the fires. It's just a community full of marvelous people.
Well, with the Clippers, we had training camp. It was in Waikiki, but you can still feel the after effects of what was going on in
Really?
Yeah. If the Clippers, dedicated time, money, resources, proceeds from the preseason games, both the Utah Jazz and the Clippers, to the families and also the communities there in Maui.
Yeah, they're moving it this year. That's a wonderful gesture, by the way, by both those teams. They're moving the Maui Invitational this year, and the hope is that in the future they can return to Lahaina when everything is rebuilt. But just tremendous people and great hearts out there, and we're thinking about you. Out of the timeout, Purdue has it. The lead is 11 with 80 seconds to go. But that will be a major learning experience for Purdue with that schedule coming up in Hawaii. Lawyer hemmed in right at the midline, gave it up for Jones, 7 to shoot. On the drive, tunneling into the lane, stepping through, tough angle, no, but Edey's there, clean up on aisle 15.
Eventually, Edey was going to find his way to the offensive glass. And that time, excellent job of not creating any contact for an offensive foul and able to put it back in.
26 tonight for Zach Edey and the Purdue Boilermakers. Near foul jumper for Green is down. Trey Green for 2. And I believe Paul Sells has a question about the clock here. So they will go to the monitor to check on where the clock should be. 81-70, Purdue with the lead.
I saw something, though, with this Xavier team.
What's that?
It may not be constructed the way the season began with the roster because of,
injuries.
Hunter. But they played hard, and that's what Sean Miller wanted. They made mistakes, yes. But I think you had something with Trey Green and Desmond Claude in the lineup together. They can play off of each other. I think that once you figure out Quincy Oliveri, how he's going to fit in, Dalen Swain, you have pieces to work with now. You may not be as deep because of those injuries, but you're going to figure out a 7, 8, 9-man rotation that gives you an opportunity to win. And these non-conference games, I think, are going to prepare this Xavier team quite well for battle they have to do in the Big East.
And you know the way Sean Miller coaches, any mistake that's here now, it's just not going to be there in February. Well, that's the plan. Edey down low. Why not get out the laminator one more time? Well, just in case you were wondering who was in charge of the deed of Mackey Arena, all the students are letting you know whose house, our house, whose house, our house. Foul with 8.6 to go, and there's a smile from the usually very businesslike Zach Edey on the floor.
Well, sometimes it's hard to enjoy it in the moment. Some young men's personalities, they keep a smile on their face. Some are more reserved, but it is good to see when a player like Zach Edey that carries the world on his shoulders has time to enjoy the moment. There it is.
This place is just another planet.
You'd have thought that Purdue was down.
Yes. Yes.
The way the student section was acting.
They were not down much today. 83-71. Purdue beats Xavier. Jim, your final thoughts?
Purdue did an excellent job when they needed to lock in defensively, getting stops, not and playing defense without fouling. When you have the anchor and Zach Edey inside, it's a lot easier to run your offense, but very impressed with the backcourt of Purdue.